So we're based out of Phoenix, Arizona, but we've actually
Ooh,
just been full-time traveling this whole, I guess, for the past year or so. But right now we're
Really?
in Phoenix. Yep, we're in Phoenix. We're about to go on a cruise next week, so that's why we're here.
Brand partnership?
No, not for this one. We're just doing a group trip with another creator. So
Very cool. Where are you guys leaving out of?
we're leaving out of Vancouver, so it should be good.
Oh, okay. Let
Yeah.
me tell you something. Okay, so I actually have story time. So my first cruise ever. Now I'm from Florida. I've been on the water my whole life, but my first cruise was out of Vancouver,
Oh,
and
no
I was like,
way.
yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, you guys know, you've been all around. Like, it's gorgeous up there,
Yeah.
and it was a huge ship. It was 600-foot ship, and it was semester at sea, like like MTV semester at sea. Like I did
Oh,
no
that's
way.
thing.
cool.
It was nutty. And I got on this ship, and it was like sunset, and it was like this really mysterious night. It's great. Dude, we got out of the pass past Vancouver Island and immediately hit a typhoon, 50-foot waves, and it blew out the bridge. We had to turn, and we're stranded on an island in the Pacific for, I'm
Oh
not
my
kidding, 2 weeks.
gosh.
Now, the island was Hawaii. But that's the story behind the story. But I'm telling you, it was nutty. It was the scariest thing. It was on Storm Stories on the Weather Channel. So when I think about
Oh my
Vancouver and
gosh.
cruising, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, we thought we were going to sink. It was nuts.
Don't get them scared or worried,
No,
Grant.
no, no, no. They're
Come
going to have
on.
calm seas. You're
Yeah.
going to Alaska? You're going to Alaska and everything? On the cruise? You're going to
Yeah.
Alaska? Yeah. Very cool, man. Well, okay. So where did the name come from? The Mobile Homies. Homies?
Yeah, so that's just a name. So we converted a shuttle bus a couple of years ago, and we turned it into like a little RV, and we wanted to create. This was like pre-reels though. This was a long time ago, but we wanted to create an account to kind of document it, and it's like a mobile home. So we came up with the name, the Mobile Homie. So now, obviously, we don't live in a bus, but we still travel all around, and the name has kind
Mm.
of stuck.
It's still worse because when I think of mobile, I think of like on the move or like
Yep.
going.
Exactly.
Like,
We're on the move.
exactly what I was
like
thinking with you.
nomad and mobile are kind of in that same mix there. So
Yeah,
that's
totally.
how that works.
Yeah, man. Now, have you guys been doing? Oh, sorry. My mic just started playing over here. I was like, wait, are they talking to me?
Oh no, you're fine.
So like, have you been doing brand paid partnerships and everything for a little while now?
Oh yeah, for probably about like a year and a half, maybe
Yeah.
2 years at this
Our
point.
first one came back in, I think it was February of 2022.
Yeah.
So we did a hotel collaboration with
Okay.
a hostel out in Washington.
Yeah.
And then in line with that, we did a water bottle company that we brought along for the trip. And that's kind of when we first like dove into it. We were like, oh, like there's something here. We don't exactly know what it is yet, but there's something here. And we just kept diving in from there. And then eventually, like within 4 or 5 months, we worked with our first tourism board.
Mhm.
Within 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Of that,
Did
yeah.
you guys reach out to them or did they reach out to you?
We reached out to them. It was just like some local things in Arizona. But that's
Okay.
kind of how we started. We had maybe about 5,000
Yeah.
followers. Yeah, about 5,000 followers at the time. But like reels were still so new then, and it was a different time, I'd say. But it's
Yeah.
definitely possible to work with tourism boards with littler amounts of followers.
Oh yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that when you I think tourism boards are looking for a variety of creators, and we all know that at 5,000, you have like a really sweet spot of people being super engaged. And
100%.
so,
Yeah, 100%. I think anything even under like 50,000 followers, like we
Yes,
found that
agreed.
our engagement, especially for tourism boards, has been pretty great. And all of our audiences really liked it. And I think it kind of just flows well with our content because we do a lot of like, hidden gems and like recommendations, stuff like that. So I think the more organic it flows, the better it goes as well.
You
Yeah.
also have a mission to make it possible for people to travel more if they spend less. And so you bring up a lot of budget friendly things. So like, what does that mean inside the travel space? How do you find deals? Is this just airfare, or are you also talking about lodging, gas? Like, what's your overall budget tips?
Yeah. Sorry, the AC just turned on. I hope it's not too loud. I apologize.
No.
But,
I literally
yeah.
I literally thought that this was Nicole's dog Rosie, who periodically snarfles. She'll just come into the room and I was like, I'm just gonna let that go. Okay, it's just AC.
Tracy, I'm glad to know they sound the same. Like they can't breathe. Sounds about right.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, the Arizona heat, it
Yeah.
can't handle.
Sorry, we can't. Yeah, we can't turn that one off.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
sorry. Let me answer your question.
The budget things that you guys started to kind of did it start there, or did you guys start noticing like, man, like if we're gonna do this, we got to find some like cost effective ways to make it happen.
Yeah. It started actually when we were in the bus. That was like one of our biggest problems. We were in the bus right after college. We were like, okay, we have X amount of money left. Like, let's try and make it go as far as possible. All of a sudden, we're paying like $200 to fill this big shuttle bus up. Like, it was just not going to work if we kept going down that way. And we were like, wait, we need to find a way to make travel affordable, and then we need to find a way to share it. And that's kind of where it started. And then she started diving into more of the budget travel, and then like the points and miles game.
Yeah, because I've always been the friend that if you want to find a flight to somewhere, everyone would call me and say, hey, find me a cheap flight.
Yeah.
And then I got really into points and miles, which I still am, but just like pretty much traveling the cheapest way possible, whether that's using points and miles for airfare or just finding cheap flights, whether that's using like apps like Upside for cash back with gas to make it cheaper, or accommodation, either using status to get like better upgrades. And we have endless tips and tricks with this, but we really use everything to try and cut the cost as much as possible, no matter how we're traveling.
When we were in Puerto Rico for the TBEX conference, there was a gentleman at our table, and his whole channel was about the points, like the credit card points. Do you remember this, Grant?
Oh yeah, the points guy. His name was the points guy.
Seriously, he was like, if people, they start to say that they know budgets or how to work the system, but there's a lot to it. And he was like going off about this whole thing, because I think like you, he feels like a big responsibility to his followers to share how, like the how-tos. So like this, that's when I realized this is a thing. Like, this is a serious thing. People are like looking at their points. Some people were telling us, "Oh, I got here for $11 because I have all my points." I'm like, and I never even crossed my mind that you could do something like that. So I think it's very like inspiring, empowering to share that message. Just because I think people just like decide I'm never going to be able to go there because I can't afford it, and then they just never try. But this makes it possible.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
you have.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was going to say, one of our stats for points and miles is in 2023, we did 45 flights and we paid less than $1,500 for all of them.
Wow.
What?
That's insane.
Yeah.
So wait. So is this full time at this point?
Oh yeah. I've been full time with this since last year, and he came onto the team full time in April.
Yeah, April. And then the following month, we beat both of our previous salaries working corporate.
Yeah.
Bam. Now, congrats. I mean, like, that's freaking huge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Real quick, Jen Bethune says, hello, friends. Does everyone? Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So I'm curious, is most of the income replacement, without getting into numbers, is most of that through brand paid partnerships, or is that through infopreneuring? Like, where's that coming from mostly?
Yeah, we do a lot of brand deals, and then also lots of affiliate income as well.
Really?
Okay.
So talk to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We've been diving into that a little bit more. We have Nomad Nesters, Katie, has opened up her eyes to this, where she really broke it down, why would I just want to get it paid once when I can get paid over and over and over again? And then she also shared with us that you can negotiate your affiliate terms. So they may say, oh, well, you get 5% or $5. And you're like, no, I really, really want to work with you guys for a long term. So I think I should get 20%. So she just really blew our minds with these opportunities. So I don't know if that's something you guys have discovered and why you've taken it on as a source of income, because we don't always hear that from the creator community. A lot of times we get pushback about affiliate marketing, but we're getting educated lately about the opportunities there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it first started like with like credit card affiliates.
Mhm.
Like that was one of the biggest first steps. Like we jumped in there, we were giving people knowledge already, and people were asking us what cards we recommend. And at that point, it's like, hey, like if you use my link, it helps me, and I'm still able to give you the free content.
Mhm.
Yes.
From there, we set up like Amazon affiliates, LTK, and then doing some other stuff with brands and things. Just throwing out our affiliate link in the story. It's crazy that you can influence people. Even if 100 people view your story, you can influence 2-3 people to buy something, and you're making money off it by just throwing it on your story.
But it really
That-
helps too, and it's like our genuine, like what we use every day, and
Yes.
people would just ask us a recommendation. But especially with the credit card affiliates, it's good because we do create a lot of educational content, and so when we create the content, it's not like we're just creating it for Instagram and then like we just spent all that time on a video at like no payoff kind of.
Yeah.
If it really helps somebody, then like we do get kickback from it, and so it's definitely nice in that way, as well as like it's just very educational, you know, like we really try to put out genuine information and quality information, because that was something that was really hard for me when I was trying to learn points and miles, because it was forever ago and there was like hardly any information out there. And now there's so much information. And so we're really good about, like, we always want to give our honest opinions and just be honest about everything. And we find that our audience appreciates that.
They do, because you simplify the process of learning.
Yes.
Because there is so much information, we can get stuck, and then you don't end up again making any like decisions. But people trust you, and they know you've done your homework and you've been showing up consistently. Jen says that she loves affiliate marketing, but it's seriously the best way to do it, being genuinely repping the things that you honestly love. And I love it.
Yes.
Jen, you have something, I think, Earth Runners, you've been with them since.
Yes, I remember her telling us this.
Yeah, she's had those shoes, and she's like, of course, I wear them all the time. I talk about all the time, so I'm signed up with their affiliate program. I feel like you just signed up with like a clothing brand too, Jen, because she wears like a lot of vintage stuff, but there's also this brand that has a lot of vintage looking clothing, but I don't know the name of it. So Jen, if you want to share that with us, because your whole style has become its own thing and its own brand in itself. So hopefully you're making money off of that. I get a check every month, and all I do is wear them.
Well, you know, and we were talking to Katie about this, and it seems like the people who make the most money from affiliate programs, or let me say this another way. We've interviewed a lot of people now, like either in person or on the show. And the people that aren't fans really of affiliate program, they'll say things like, it didn't really work out for me. And when you spend some time, this isn't true across the board, but it's general enough to be almost nearly always true. They're used to treating affiliate program the way they treat paid collabs. They're one and done. They saw a money grab and they went. The people, now said a different way, the people who seem to consistently do well with affiliate programs literally looked at their life and were like, I use this one product or this one service all the freaking time, and I'm never I'll do this for life. And it's like, why don't I make money on that?
Yeah.
And it turns into like almost as if you had a long-term brand deal with somebody, but you control it. And I think I heard you say that you post in your stories. That was what Katie was saying. She doesn't really post about her affiliates in her reels at all, but like periodically she'll say in a story, hey, listen, I use X, Y, and Z all the time. A lot of you guys have been asking, here's my deal. Is that how you treat it? Like, how do you approach it?
Yeah, I think so. You know, the thing is like every brand has an affiliate program pretty much. And a lot of brands will come to us and say, hey, like sign up for my affiliate link. And something that we really do is we try not to, I mean, if we use the product, of course, we're going to join it. But if we don't use the product and have no interest in using the product, we do say no. And I think that it's better that way, just because if we're not genuine, you're right. It's like, we don't want to treat it as a one-off thing. We don't want to treat it as something that is just a money grab, because like that's not what we're about. We're about like what we genuinely use. And I think that's the only way our audience would be interested in it as well. And so by sticking to the products that we actually use and that we are familiar with, you're right. It's way more authentic to just post about it in the stories, because that's what we do that as well. Stories are definitely the best place for it. We don't really ever post it in reels. But what's nice about it too, and so if anybody ever asks like, hey, what backpack is that? It's hey, go check out my gear highlight, and you can look
Make
at all
your
of my
life
family.
easier too. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
here's the link, because you're gonna get that question over and over again. That's how you know you've done a good job at your content. You get the same questions, but you definitely need a link to send people, because it can get overwhelming trying to answer them again and again. So
Yeah.
what does Jen say here? A lion doesn't have to tell you it's a lion, meaning if the product works, it sells itself. You have to have discernment with who you work with and be genuine, which is exactly what Jordan's saying. So that's awesome. That's so true.
Yeah. Now, was it scary for you all to make the transition? Like, even though the money was coming in, talk to me about the emotions that were coming up and the discussion that was had about, does JT go full time? Like, do I go full time? Like, tell me about that process. Was that difficult at all, or was it a no brainer for you guys?
Yeah. So it came at the weirdest time. And I say that because it might sound weird, but so 6 months before, I was on my phone, I was making just like a video talking to myself, like looking in the past. And I was like, 6 months from now, my life's going to be totally different. 6 months to the day, I get laid off from the company.
What?
Right after we invested in a course, like a creator course on how to monetize, how to grow your Instagram, all those things. And at that point, I'm like, okay, this is a sign. Like, we have to go full time. We're just putting it to the ground and we're running. Like, we're going for it. And we did. And all of a sudden, I'm like, there's something here. And for the past 4 months, it's just been this joyride of like, there's something here. Like, it's been insane.
That's so funny. So Nicole and I were listening to a book, 10X is easier than 2X, and they profile Mr. Beast a little bit. And Nicole, in the book I just got, I forget that, Be Your Future Self Now is the name of this book. And he recalls this moment. Yeah, he recalls this moment that Mr. Beast had. And I don't know, this is like a myth now, and I'm sure it's true. When he was doing like game streaming in the early days, and he was just sick of it. It wasn't getting a lot of response. And so he recorded 4 different videos. One was to his future self in a month. The next was to his future self in 6 months, then 5 years and 10 years. And then he scheduled them out that far out and forgot about them.
Oh my God.
And so the video it was super cool. And the videos came out, and there was one of them that was to his like 5-year self. And he was talking, and he even lost himself in reverie in it, because he was like, listen, if I don't have 1 million subs by 5 years from now, I would have considered myself a failure. And he's sitting on like, I think it was like 10 million subs at that point. And he's like, I cannot believe that came real, dude. And then at one point he was like 20 years from now, and his 10-year from now self, he was like, I could be freaking dead by then. And he's like this 14-year-old kid, you know, and he's just having these revelations, but this stuff like works. So it was like at that moment, JT, that you got laid off, was it still a no-brainer because it was exactly 6 months, or did you still second guess?
Oh, it was a no-brainer. And I say that because I had a lot of people. I had so many people coming to me with big eyes, and they were going, so are you looking for other jobs? Like, do you need help? I'm like, no, like Jordan and I are actually going to like do something that's gonna take more than our income. And like, yeah, of course it came true. I mean, at the end of the day, I love to live on things that like a dream doesn't chase you back, right? Like, you got to go after something.
Whoa, hang on.
He just dropped a nugget. Hold on. Rewind.
Wait. Come back to that. A dream doesn't chase you back? What is that?
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So like, think about it. Like, you chase your dreams, right? But it's not going to chase you back. If you don't put the steps in, you don't do the things that you need to every day to go after that dream, you're not going to get anywhere. So by having the realization of that, including all of it,
we're going to start a new series called Bangin' Creator Quotes.
Dude, JT, you just melted my brain.
Influencer Academy. It really is.
Like, and you don't know this about me necessarily, Jaden or Jordan and JT. You guys don't know this about me. Like, I have a whole personal development channel, and I've never heard this quote ever.
I think it's from Mike Posner.
Really? I like Mike Posner. Holy cow. Exactly. Okay. So that's pretty nutty. And so, I mean, kudos to you, because, you know, there's been several moments where I chased a dream and I obtained it, and it was nutty. That semester at C Trip, I almost bailed out of it, honestly, because it was so overwhelmingly bigger than me at the time. Someone else wrote the check, which was part of my dream. And like, it was just one of these wild things. And again, when I moved to the Dominican Republic, I moved to the DR for a year. And literally at the airport, I'm already checked into the international wing in Atlanta. And I'm second guessing it, like, is this the right thing? And it took my partner, Marissa, and people around me to go, bro, this has been on your goal list for this whole time. It's like, I guess it won't chase me back. I guess I got to get on the plane, right? It's not going to put me on the plane, right?
Yeah.
Man, that is exciting.
That's cool.
So like when you made that switch, was it immediately paying more than your job?
No, it was, we had a few deals we were going after, but then it just became systematic. We went, okay, so what was working? Yeah, we were going, okay, what was working and how can we replicate it? And that came down to the brand pitching. We started to, instead of pitching like once every 2 weeks and staying consistent, we got more consistent, pitched every single week, and started reaching out to brands, connecting, creating relationships on Instagram, started to talk back to our previous partners and see if we can pick conversations back up from previous like work. And honestly, from there, it's become like very like funneled down to the point of like, we have work all the way leading to December now.
Awesome. That's
So
the goal.
That's the goal. And Nicole's been saying to our creators, like, treat it like a business. And now
it is.
It
Yeah.
is.
It is. But
Now
that
we're-
switch going, well,
Yeah.
I've got to go in work like every single day, just like I would, like I click like clocking into a job like you were doing, except for now you're clocking into your own business, and then you're doing all of the systems that get you booked out till December. And that shift, you know, for you, it took losing a job and then going, I have to do this. For a lot of people, they're still in their regular, like comfortable, I'm okay if a deal comes my way, whatever. But it's like, how do you get people to get to that switch? And so it's just, I guess it's just really, it's hearing stories like this to say it does work if you work it, if you chase the dream.
Yeah.
Right,
So how many?
exactly.
Go ahead.
I mean, so when it came to it, like I just kept the job because I was able to still travel, still able to do what I wanted to. And to anyone that's considering it too, it's like keep the job as long as you can.
Yeah.
And then when you can't anymore, that's when you make the switch. But for example, like last summer we went to 17 countries. And I still had a full-time job. I was working a 9 to 5 and I was traveling outside of that. We went to Japan. I was working from like midnight to like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., like just getting stuff done. So like we made sacrifices along the way, but now like we're reaping all the benefits. Like it's been such a whirlwind difference. Now we're chasing 50 states before the end of 2024. And it's been a journey. Yeah.
Wow.
What's the unseen work that most creators just assume they don't have to do, or they what is that? What's that?
No, I think you know, a lot of times I think content creators get a bad rap because they're like, oh, they're just making videos, or like, oh, they're just like,
Oh yeah, there's
using
a
this
stigma with influencers and content creators. We're fighting it every day, for sure.
Yep, you're 100% right. But literally, I think like you see maybe 10% of the work, and we're doing 90% like behind closed doors. I think for us, really what changed for us to help us optimize our workflow a bit better is our mentors. They said like figure out like 80% of your income comes from 20% of what you're doing. So find that 20% and make that your 80%. And then you can like compound off of that. And so that's kind of what we did. He was like, write out what you're doing every hour, see like if it's making you money, if it's not making you money. If it's not making you money, put it on the sidelines and wait until you can outsource it or something.
Yeah.
And so we really figured out like what was making us money and like what we were putting our time into. And that's what we started putting more time into. So for us now, like I said, it's brand partnerships and affiliate partnerships. And so we're putting pretty much all of our effort into that. We post every day on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok, everything. Like we have a piece of content that goes out every single day. So that does contribute to quite a bit of work as well. But it's really just right now we are trying to build a strong foundation with that so we can outsource a little bit. And then once we outsource that, we can start focusing on other streams of income and start trying to monetize in other ways as well.
Well, it sounds like you have a plan, which is really great.
We do.
Yeah, like you have a blueprint, like you guys are already tracking for your next phase of growth. And so that's commendable too. Like that's awesome. I can see why you're getting so much further ahead. And that's a conversation we had the other day, Grant, actually, talking about being on all the platforms.
Yeah.
And when you're not, you're decreasing your visibility. And why not? If especially it's the same content, right? For you guys, it's one piece of content and then it's mass distributed. And it's like, we are proponents of like, get really good at your craft and focus on like one platform, maybe in the beginning, but don't stay there for too long, and get on TikTok, get on YouTube Shorts, because you can grow all your channels a lot faster that way.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that, or is that just kind of,
Yeah,
definitely. And I think especially with TikTok, like, so we, for the most part, use TikTok as an A/B tester. We post 2 different hooks and we pick the best hook that performs there and bring it over to Instagram. And honestly, that alone has brought us a ton of people from TikTok going, hey, I saw your video. I want to know if you can help me find a flight, or I want to know if you can help me find a credit card. They come from, so we're gaining leads over to our main channel of Instagram from just like a TikTok video that did like 500 views even so. So
now, are you posting those back to back? Is that testing? Are you posting them back to back with different hooks?
Yeah,
really?
So I'll post like 2 to 3 hooks, and then whichever one performs better, I'll leave up, and then I'll just post over to Instagram that hook. And honestly, we've seen like amazing results. Like it's so easy to see what performs there, and then just throw it over to Instagram, and it performs really well as well. And we got that tip from one of our mentors as well. They were like, "I've been doing this, and it works." And I was like, "Okay,
that's great
twist my
advice.
arm,
I'm
I'll try
excited
it."
to share that. Yeah.
How long do you let it stay up before the test is complete?
Honestly, it's like 24, 48 hours. Like if I right until I'm about to post on Instagram the version that I liked, I leave it up, and then I post the same one that's going to Instagram that I keep up.
Dude, now, okay. So most creators do not have the type of wiring, the brain that you guys have. Were you entrepreneurial or business minded or systems minded before?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing, dude?
What was
So
your job?
Okay, so when we were going through our senior year of college, we were like, okay, what do we want to do next? And our idea was, okay, like let's I don't know, let's write a book, let's do something. And so we did this whole class. So we were like, okay, we're gonna write a book about taking time away from technology, which now, of course, like the world has shifted and now we're totally glued. We screwed ourselves in that realm. But that lesson of, so we would get in front of like 500, 600 like college students and tell them, hey, we want to write a book about like taking time away from technology. We need you guys to do market research. Like we need your help. All of a sudden we're like teaching these classes about like market research and like just learning everything about entrepreneurial, reading books and just like diving in.
Wow.
And we were even like talking to other business owners and like pitching them on like our idea, and they're like, you guys are crazy. And we're like, we know, but there's something here. And eventually we were like, okay, we're entrepreneurial. Let's not do that exact route, because it was like during the times of COVID and everything. And so we took the sideline to it, but it just like started there with like this passion of like, we love learning, we love teaching, and we love like showcasing something. Like that's at the end of the day, like we want to be proud of our own product. Like if you're not proud of like what you're putting out there, it's like, what are you doing? You know?
Oh yeah. So, okay. So like you guys have also been exposed to a lot of material, a lot of the creators, or I'm sorry, a lot of the nomadic creators, the travel RVer people, they really, most of them want freedom. Most of them haven't thought, well, I'll keep a job because I want to get a little bit of travel. Most of them are like, I want to permanently be gone. They just start and they pick up lessons along the way. They do encounter, mentors and leaders, but it sounds like you guys have also done a lot of homework. Are there any books, courses, or material that you guys are like, I always
Maybe your top 5, because you guys probably like have 100.
Not even top 3 that you guys are always telling each other, telling creators, go to this book, watch this course, pay attention to this principle. What are your top 3 suggestions?
Yeah, our top. So I'm not sure if you know who the Lover's Passport is on Instagram,
No.
but they have a creator account called the Creator Passport. And sorry, that's the doggy. They have a creator account on Instagram called the Creator Passport, and they launched a course called the Creator Passport, I think is what the course is called as well.
Okay.
It's closed right now to join, but we joined that one back in March, and that has been a pretty big game changer for us. They've been our mentors for probably like a year and a half at this point. But when they launched the course, it was really a no-brainer for us to sign up for. And I would say that is 100% been a huge payoff for us and
Wow.
has really been a big game changer.
Yeah.
Like it has opened our minds to so many things that we didn't realize were possible as creators. And it's very great. I would highly recommend it. But it's closed right now. I think it opens up maybe at the end of the year, but it is game changer.
That's great.
Yeah, another
Yeah, we'll
another
definitely
one.
follow.
Yeah, another one that kind of like spoke to us, especially when we first got started. It was Ikigai.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And that was specifically for her when she was just figuring out. She was at her 9 to 5, like working the corporate world, wasn't really too happy with like her day to day, and it was like, okay, like how can I find what I love, how I can make money, and like where my passions lie, and it came down to content creation.
Mm. That's big. So those are two. Now, and when you say Ikigai, there's the principle and then there's the book. Are you talking about the book itself?
The book and the principle, yeah. I read the
Yeah,
book, and that's what led me to all of my decisions with it. But travel's always been a big thing for me as well, because I went to school to teach English as a second language, and so my goal was to live abroad after school. But then COVID had different plans for that, so
Yep.
kind of had to pivot a little bit. And
Oh yeah.
I wanted to leave travel in the mix, and
Yeah.
when I met him, actually, he'd never even left the country, and so once I pulled him with me, he saw
Yeah,
the other
buddy.
side. We haven't
Yeah.
gone back.
Yeah, now I've been to 32 countries. And
Wow.
Yeah, so I think we'll be at 40 by the end of the year. So
Man.
What are you gonna do after that? After you visited all the because you went through that. So what would be next? Writing a book about all those countries, or
yeah, so I don't know what would be next. So in November, I know we're doing Christmas markets, and that's kind of like after the 50 states, that's our next goal. Like that's the eyeball. And then after that, it's like we're taking some time to kind of set our 2025 goals and see where it takes us.
Yeah,
Honestly,
buddy.
like, educational is one of the main goals of 2025, is like teaching people how to monetize, teaching people how to create, and just like sharing our story and being able to relate back. Honestly, we see a lot of creators getting into the space who are teaching people how to monetize, or teaching people how to create without even having the experience themselves. And I think we see a big issue with that, where we have the experience now. We're building up our own portfolio to show people this is how you can do it, and creating our own systems where eventually we're going to be able to teach as well.
Wow. Man, that is rich. Well, you guys are the couple to watch for sure.
yeah.
This has been nutty good. Like I very rarely learn this deep from every creator, but I'll tell you, I've traveled a bit, and I'm like, just listening to you guys, I'm inspired more because I'm like, holy crap, like I should, like Nicole, I'm like, we're gonna stop in November and we're gonna do our goal setting from an island in Tahiti, and that's just how it is.
We're gonna get it on the big ass calendar, and it's gonna happen. We're gonna manifest it all.
Yeah, you have to get the big calendar. That's what
He has it. It's up there. Believe me.
Wait. Specifically, are you two talking about the one called the Big Ass Calendar, or just a big calendar?
Okay. Everybody says that. I know everybody uses that one. I just use a big calendar because I just don't like how it's like the day by day. I don't know. It's just a personal thing, but any big calendar suffices.
Yeah, but it's got to be physical. And it's got to be on the wall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
I love it.
And you have to have markers to be able to draw all over it. So.
Yeah, man. See, I like how you guys work, man. You guys work like entrepreneurs, but you live like full-blown creators. It's awesome. Favorite spots from each of you, favorite countries you've visited that you would absolutely go back to and live in if you had to park it. Where would you go? Either one of them.
I think we have the same top.
Yeah, our top three, we discuss it often because we're like, has anything passed? And nothing has. So number one is definitely Japan. Japan is unreal. The food, the people, just the culture is so awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, like one of our favorite budget travel destinations. Like literally, we were told by so many people, this is so expensive. It's going to cost so much money when you're there. Honestly, it was one of the cheapest trips we did last year.
Wow.
So that was huge. Number two is Turkey. Another like amazing.
I've heard this.
Culture.
That's awesome.
Everything is so cheap. Like we were eating and staying for maybe under $20 a day total for everything.
What?
It was incredible. We could do whatever we wanted. We felt like we were living lavish. Like it was just insane. Yeah. So we did like Istanbul. We did Cappadocia, where you can see the balloons, and then we did Antalya, which is like a water town on the Mediterranean.
Yes.
freaking amazing. And then the last one is one we come back to often, a little more expensive, but it's Scotland. Like Edinburgh stole our heart when we went there. It was so beautiful. We plan to go back in 2025. Like it's been.
I've heard that. And what's the festival that's there? The art festival there. What is that called?
It's called
Fest.
Fringe.
We were there last
Fringe.
year. Yeah.
I've heard that. Okay, dude.
Well,
Well,
it was a thing until last year, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh my god, like why is this hostel $50 a night? Like what's going on? And then all of a sudden we walk to the streets and we're like looking around. We're like, okay, there's like a show going on.
There's
We didn't know-
something happening.
Yeah. So
yeah, man.
I highly recommend it. It was one of the best experiences. We were gone, I think, 60 days in Europe total, and that last like 3 days at Fringe Festival was
Just
probably
fun.
some of the best moments we had. So
Wow.
Dude, well, you guys are good vibes. Listen, if you're watching this later, check out the Mobile Homie. Not only do they have good recommendations, but they'll get you there with their systems. And so check out their links page for their points and miles guide. Thank you guys so much. Stick around. We're going to chat real quick. And
Sounds good.
Nicole,
Thank you guys so much.
oh, what? What did I miss?
They were talking.
Oh, there's a delay. I hope they didn't bail. Okay, they're good. They're sticking around.
Okay.
Real quick.
Stay on.
What was your biggest takeaway from that? Like, I'm going to be salivating over what they're telling me for like all
I'm
afternoon.
like taking notes over here.
I
Okay?
am.
I'm gonna pull up a Google Doc and I'm like, okay, dreams don't chase you. 1, top
I know.
places to travel. 2, and then my next thought is, what's up Grant's sleeve now after this conversation? Because I know you've been inspired to travel somewhere.
I'm gonna
and
snipe
or
their
write
point.
a book or add a new module. Like something's gonna happen.
I'm going to
So-
snipe their miles guide. I literally am going to snipe because literally they're living the plan that we began executing. I was doing teaching English as a second language in the Dominican Republic, and I hit a wall that I did not love that. I loved the teaching. I love educating, but I didn't. I love third world countries. I could just live forever doing that. But I hit a wall, and that wall led us into for-profit work here in the United States and all the content creation. But now we've been back 10 years, 15 years, and it's time to hit the road again. So I don't know yet, but I'm going to follow these guys and find out for sure. All right. Any parting thoughts before we say goodbye to the audience?
I hope you guys take notes too. And go check out all the different resources they suggested, because it's going to make you move a lot faster in your career.
Yep. The divine nugget. Your dreams won't chase you back. So you got to go chase them down. So thanks so much, everyone. Check us out next week